Hey there guys, how's it going, and welcome to a new Black Ops 2 Gold Gun video. Today we're looking at the very much requested SMR assault rifle. So if you've got a weapon that you'd like to see me get gold camo for and give you some tips on, feel free to leave a comment down below and I'll do my best to make sure that I do what is mostly requested. But here you can see the diamond SMR. I actually think this gun looks a lot better diamond camo, so that's why I'm showing the diamond camo. Here is a view where you can see the emblem on the gun as well, which I think is quite nicely placed, quite a decent size, so that's something to note if you want a prestigious weapon. And there is the slow animation for the reload, which actually is not a bad animation, but you get to see a fair amount of the gun, but nothing really too special there. Now, the SMR assault rifle, let's talk about its properties. What are its strengths and its weaknesses? How can you guys make the most of it if you are interested in trying this weapon out? I'm sure a few of you probably tried it for a little bit and just thought, you know what, this is rubbish. I'm not doing any good with it. So maybe let's look at some of the things that might make you want to pick up this gun again, give it a go. Now, I will give a word of warning, this gun is not for everyone, and when you first start using it, it can be tough. It's very difficult to get used to. Most of the guns in Black Ops 2 you can kind of pick up and you've kind of got an idea of how to use them. Guns like this are very much a specialist kind of weapon, and a specialist role is needed. So let's look at what the gun's good at and what it's bad at. Well, the interesting thing with this gun is a lot of its statistics are either right at the top of the scale or right at the bottom of the scale. It's either amazing or something at something or very bad at it. And I'll be honest, the things that it's really great at, it's not a very long list, but it's a very important thing. The thing this gun is best at is that it has extremely high damage for an assault rifle. 2 to 3 shots to kill over any distance. Obviously 2 shot very close distance, and then 3 shot over a little bit longer. I think it's 40 or 50 meters. Don't quote me exactly on that one. But basically very high damage. And obviously that's probably one of the most important factors of a gun. You know, its damage is very important to how well it performs. But then let's look at its downfalls, you know, the things that aren't so good with it. It actually has a medium hip spread, and medium, you might think, you know, that's okay, average. By medium, that means in terms of overall, it's actually not as good as the rest of the assault rifles in terms of its hip fire. It's not as accurate, obviously not as accurate as a submachine gun. Not quite as bad as, say, an LMG, which have the worst hip spreads, apart from possibly a sniper, but I don't know if that would really count. But if you're going to be firing from the hip, you're probably going to have a bad time. You will be able to get a few kills, as you see me get a few kills in these clips with from the hip, but just something to note that it's not very accurate like that. It also has the smallest magazine size of any assault rifle at only 20 bullets per magazine, meaning you are going to get through your ammo quite quickly and you're going to be reloading a lot, which is also not very good because this weapon has the slowest reload of any assault rifle. So two properties that aren't very positive for this gun and that you might need to work around. The other thing, I suppose, and another thing that is probably one of the most important, is that it has a very slow fire rate. It's not very fast at firing. You can oversample it very easily, which means you can almost tap the trigger too quickly, which means there will be a delay in some of your bullets coming out, so it's quite tricky to use. Now, because of this, I've said that the most important thing that I would say to use on this is select fire. Don't get me wrong, if you can master the speed that you need to shoot this gun at, then by all means go without select fire, because attachments are a big thing with this weapon. As you can see, I've gone for 3 attachments here, but for me, it just makes it a lot easier. I had a lot better results, but maybe someone who is more experienced and used the gun a lot could go without that. But if you're going to start out, I know you don't start out with select fire, but it's worth unlocking it and then trying it out. Now, another very good attachment, although I haven't got it here because I didn't actually use it that much, but it makes sense to use it, so I'm going to say it anyway, is quick draw, because this gun has a slow aim down sight time and also it also has a bad hip spread, so you're going to be needing to aim down sight quicker, get those bullets on target. So quick draw might be something you could do if you're going to be a little bit more aggressive, which kind of leads me into why I don't really use quick draw, is because you shouldn't really be being too aggressive with this gun. I am used to kind of running into enemy spawns, running at the enemy, but in all honesty, this gun is a bit like an LMG in terms of you probably just want to sit back a bit and make sure that you put distance between you and the enemy. The more distance you can put between you and the enemy, the more luck you're going to have. Now, you can see I'm using a sight, I think, in all of these clips. It's okay without a sight. Like the iron sight, for example, obviously is what it's like without a sight. And those of you who follow my channel will know I actually got a nuclear and a nuked out without using a sight on this gun. So it is possible, but it is a lot clearer with one. Now, I was looking at the EOTech and the MMS. Obviously, the MMS is the last one you unlock. So the EOTech or even the Reflex aren't bad options, but I prefer the MMS once I've got it unlocked, because not only do you have a huge visible area to look through. I mean, look at that. There's hardly any of the gun blocking your view whatsoever, but you have the added bonus of being able to see people through a surface if they're actually motionless. Obviously, the more still they're being, the easier they are to see. Another selection I've got there is stock, because I say that with a lot of guns where it's quite important to aim down sight. So to be honest, most of the assault rifles I put a stock on. I wouldn't put a stock on a submachine gun generally because they've got quite decent hip spread and quite decent hip fire. But with a gun where you want to get that first bullet on target and it's very important that you do so, I normally always recommend stock. So to be honest, this gun would be very good with 4 or 5 attachments. So the ones I've got there and indeed fast mags. And I would actually say once you've mastered this gun, you would probably want to go without select fire and go for fast mags. It does have a very slow reload, but remember, you're going to be able to kill people in 2 or 3 shots, so you don't need to reload as much as you would with another high fire rate gun. It's got a slow fire rate, it's going to kill in 2 or 3 shots, so that's, you know, 6 or 7 kills potentially if you've got good accuracy before you need to reload. So if you're going to use this weapon, you could run without fast mags, but just remember you need to learn to not reload as much as I do. I actually use fast mags in a lot of these clips, but I think you could get away with it. So in kind of summary, I suppose, this gun is one for what I would call a more experienced player. It really needs someone who knows how to use the weapon properly to get the most out of it. Most of you aren't going to enjoy using this weapon, but it's definitely worth a try. If you can master it, you're going to be outgunning a lot of people, similar to the FAL. If you do fancy an assault rifle which is single burst, I would go with the FAL. And because this gun has so many bad properties, I have gone with a 6 out of 10, which is actually one of my lowest ratings that I've given to guns, because I think a lot of the guns are quite good at quite a lot of things and quite balanced. But this gun is very weak in a lot of ways, and because you are going to need quite a decent amount of skill, very good accuracy, and you're going to need to really concentrating to make the most out of this gun, I've put it at a 6 out of 10. So it's a gun for an expert, an extreme weapon, extreme at either end of the scale in terms of its statistics. Give it a go, maybe see if it's worth it, and see what you think of my setup once you've unlocked all of those attachments. So if you did enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like rating. I really appreciate all of your support. If you're watching on Machinima Respawn, be sure to check out my channel. There's loads of these gold gun videos over there if you haven't seen them already. And that's it for now, guys. I'll see you soon.
There's another one on behind the truck.